Hello, happy Wednesday to everybody, August the 19th, 2020. Couple interesting things happened in the news yesterday that I actually wanted to try to get out there yesterday, but I ended up instead in search of a camera. I decided I wanted a better camera to film it with. I didn't really like the way this one filmed, so in my search for a camera, I wasted all my time that I could have been recording this, and there's no cameras to be had. Everybody's working from home, etc., so all the webcams are off the shelf. Most of the mics are off the shelf. The one that I wanted is back ordered so bad it's probably going to be a month before I even get it if I ordered it today. So that's how I wasted my day yesterday instead of reporting the stuff that I could have just maybe came in and did yesterday. But so at any rate, do it today. No big deal. What happened yesterday? Well, I showed up at a buddy of mine's house with a coffee thinking I had the news of the day when the Daily Mail dropped some photographs of Billy Clinton getting some pretty interesting attention from Shantae Davies. So we'll talk about that at the end, though. I want to get into the Canadian news first. So Morneau resigned. So my buddy's like, yeah, Morneau resigned. I just about spit my coffee out. I didn't think that would happen. They seem so smug that they're just not going to move, and he actually did. He did resign, but this is, I guess, 5D chess, you might call it, right? So why did he resign? Well, someone had to take the fall. And as he takes the fall, Trudeau calls a proroguing, which Julie Payette, the Governor General, quickly responds to. No problem, you can have it. There you go. So government in Canada is now off once again until September 23rd. And during that time, they're going to be drawing up something to do with introducing climate change prerogatives with the social welfare program. So some sort of safety nets to do with whatever he figures needs to be done as far as the planet and its climate goes. So that'll be interesting to find out what that is, because we don't know what that is yet. We're going to have to wait and see on that. In the midst of Morneau taking the shot for Trudeau, which is a good thing in a way. It's good that he's out of there, because at least he's not messing around there anymore. But he's already applying to get into something called the Organization for Economical Cooperation and Development, which is essentially a collection of countries that are better off, that kind of work in and around agriculture, taxation to do with it, and as well as, you know, countries' rights when it comes to doing trade back and forth with agricultural stuff. So he's trying to get in on that now. And as he flees office, claiming, oh, I was almost done anyway, I'm just going to leave. Yeah, sure, right. But he's probably also going to be absolving himself of any more investigation going into him. God knows what else he's done. Whenever a criminal gets caught doing something, I'll tell you right now, they've already done a whole bunch of other things that they've gotten caught for. So he manages to get out of a pretty tight scrape, and then he gets to move on to another position anyway. Well, we'll see. He's applying for that, but we'll see if he gets on. But I'm definitely going to try to keep an eye on that, because that'll be interesting to see how he plans on, you know, taking advantage of people in other ways and places. You know, McCain boy, as if he should be doing anything political or at all. Trust fund boy, no thanks. So at any rate, that's what he's doing. Now I guess we need to talk to a little bit more about the social welfare system stuff and the things that were said in and around it. Well, actually, it's probably important to note that he's been the fall guy along with Raybould and along with Gerald Butts now. And I know that there was another one farther back. I can't remember her name, though, but she ended up leaving or getting shuffled or silenced within their cabinet, too. So I mean, it's they've got their own way of doing shoot, shovel, and shut up, I guess. And now new deputy prime minister, while he goes into hiding, is Chrystia Freeland, and she's all into socialism too, so she's going to be making sure she keeps spending money the whole time through while he's doing whatever. And if she messes up, she'll just be the next fall guy. So hopefully for her sake, and good luck with the way things are right now. Hopefully she doesn't have any scandals herself that she ends up getting thrown under the bus for herself, and she'll just be another one. Won't be a big deal. Trudeau doesn't care who he tramples on, it seems like. So as long as the political party grows its ambitions and nothing gets in the way, including the political party itself. So dissent is not tolerated. It's very authoritarian. as is dissolving Parliament continually and just doing things whatever you want. Reclaiming 1,500 guns plus some coffee and airsoft rifles and whatever else was on that crazy list, and some shotguns. So he just does that, part of the Emergency Act. And now we're going to be going into who knows what else while he's gone. So we'll have to wait and see. One benefit that could come out of this, although I'm not sure it's going to be a benefit, like I say, he was signed as pro-rogue pretty quick by Julie Payette. But there is an option for a vote of no confidence coming up in September when he comes back and reveals whatever their plan is. So if he fails the vote of confidence, then Julie Payette gets to decide what's going to happen next, which will either be another election will be called, or another suitable political party or coalition will be inserted. Now, I think that that's dangerous. I think that means, given her actions and who she is, it's most likely that they'll maybe just try and insert the NDP in as acting government or something like that. They align a lot more closely with their belief system, and so she might say something like, oh, well, you know, they more closely match with the Canadian people wanted this election, so I guess we're just going to have to settle for whatever's closest. I think it should be another election because I'm not sure how it would go this time. It was pretty close last time. I think Canadians actually deserve that change after all of this. It's foolish that the way the state of the Liberal Party is right now, they just get to keep tromping on. It's not fair, really. It's kind of interesting to note, too, that all these people sort of come from the same place. I mean, they're out east, and they're all serving their own interests. And it seems like there's some global interests that are going on with this, too. So it's all very questionable. We'll just have to see what happens when it comes time to make those decisions. I'd like to quote him, too, actually. He says that this is our chance to build a more resilient Canada that is healthier, safer, greener, more competitive, more welcoming, and more fair. So to me, when he says more welcoming and more fair, besides all that other stuff he said, more welcoming means you can probably expect the immigration to pick up. It'll be more people, even at a time when we're hurting, we're going to flood more people in. I think that people need to understand that the more people we have, the lower our deficit is. It spreads the money around more for whatever deficits happened, and so the money becomes worth a little bit more, and so that helps us keep our standing with the IMF as they continue to, put us through the dregs of usury, really. So that's great. More welcoming, more fair. Well, to me, more fair is going to be more socialism. So it's that mid-level between capitalism and communism, and so the more of it that gets added, the closer we become to a voted-in communist state. It'd be something like Bernie Sanders tries to say with his like a social democracy or socialist democracy. I was like, there's no such thing. Look at Venezuela. That was the same thing. And, it doesn't work out that way, because when that becomes the mind of the government, it's just too much narcissism. They fight all the time. It's like the circular firing squad that's going on in the left circle right now, where they've expanded to the lowest common denominator so much that even the people they protect don't like each other. And so it kind of works against them, which is to the benefit of people who believe in, the country. So that's what everyone should probably take a stand for anyway. You've already got rights and freedoms that you need to protect. You don't need more, which is essentially what liberalism does, is it seeks to give extra rights to people who they believe don't have enough. This whole idea of equity, bringing people up to the exact same standard, which is absolute madness. There's no freedom in that whatsoever. So another thing he says, this is quoted by someone else, I don't know who said it, but they said that the PM wants to go big, and added roughly that this is his legacy that he's building for himself. So he's Dr. Cannabis, he's Bill 16, extra rights above and beyond citizens with that for a certain group of people. And some of them didn't want it, and I don't blame them. I think it's probably hurt them more than it's helped them. And then what else legacy-wise? So yeah, now he wants to be the climate legacy guy with this new social welfare thing that he's going to be tweaking and adjusting. The thing that bothers me about legacies is that, they turn into a part of the propaganda machine where, he already got in because of his dad. His dad left a legacy. Oh, his son should be prodigal. No doubt, right? And so I guess in a sense he was, because he's no better. He's definitely no too far, didn't fall too far from the tree, so to speak. Um, the other thing that bothers me about the legacy thing is that, you know, we could see maybe his kids or his grandkids running based on this whole legacy idea. We've already seen this in politics quite a bit now, where people who have family in government tend to become the next people in government, and I don't think that that's a good thing when you look at the psychology of how family roles work. Where, you know, say the grandfather worked and built the land, the father, which is his son, maintained it, and then, you know, the third one in didn't really have any appreciation for any of it, and he's happy to spend the money and have the status, but really the heart's not in it for the job. So that's another sort of scary thing with legacy politics. So we'll have to see what happens. I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, 10, 20 years, 30 years from now, we end up seeing another Trudeau from that family running for office. We'll just have to wait and see on that. But I'll remember I said that, and then see how right I was. But yeah, so what else? I mean, all the stuff that's being done, we're now $343 billion with a projected deficit for this year. So it could be more, could be less than that. We'll just have to see how that goes too. But it's also quoted as being the largest debt that Canada's had since World War II. And I was talking about how things looked in the 30s and how they look now and the similarities. And so, you know, it's interesting that they quote that we're going to be in just as rough a shape as we were after 10 years of depression and 5 years of fighting a war and spending money on that effort. So it's not a good place for us. I mean, I don't know how soon it's going to come, but it's not too far of a stretch of the imagination to think that we're being pushed into some sort of reset. Now, this is kind of a monumental thing for most people because we've sort of had the same money for a long time, but the European Union hasn't. That's all new money for them now, you see. So it actually already has happened in our lifetime once to them, and that could be part of the reason why they get the standing that they do with the OECD, right? So they're the only ones that are part of being an official UN observer that are allowed to take part in debates. So whereas the OECD is allowed to join the UN in their meetings and share information, they aren't allowed to partake in what should happen with any of it, which could mean that they're just ordered to do some things, or it's all subject to what they think that they should do. Could just be information gathering. That's all they're required for, so they don't get to debate. So there's definitely that. So I mean, are they maybe going to try to introduce the Amero? That's something that was talked about years ago, was the Amero. If anyone remembers that, that's talking about building one money for North and South America. Where they're trying to build a super highway, apparently, that runs all the way through Canada from the north, through the United States, and then down into Mexico and South America. So it's trying to create a super highway and then to unite that all on one money and one economy called the Amero. And the people who are setting this up are the same people that everyone owes money to. So they're just cornering their own loaning market is what's happening. And they do it because they're really good at usury. So that's what's going on with that. I don't know if there's anything else to say about Trudeau and Morneau. I think I've covered almost everything I wanted to sort of bring to people's attention with that. Oh no, one more thing that needs to be noted about all this and pushing us towards a potential reset is that it should be noted that Trudeau has raised taxes on higher earning people and businesses. So people who normally would create jobs or be able to create jobs with that money have just been throttled down at a time like this when we could use that. So that's more of playing the equity game or trying to force us into everyone is equal scenario that we don't really want. So that's probably about it for Canadian politic touch-up, stuff that's interesting that's definitely going to play out over the next couple months. Hopefully I don't have to touch this for a while, being that he's suspended Parliament. Probably won't have to anyway. We'll just maybe see what the deputy does for a while as this goes on. And then back to Bill Clinton. So that was the big news I thought I found for the day till I found out about Morneau and all the things surrounding that. Daily Mail released it first. You should go look at it. I'm going to put the link down in the description. A whole bunch of photographs that aren't lewd, but are definitely interesting and questionable, I guess, given the situation surrounding Epstein and the people who've ridden on his plane. but there's like some 17 photos of Clinton with this 22-year-old girl who was hired to go all along as a massage therapist on this um, humanitarian mission to Africa with some celebrities for like 5 days or something like that. So, and they get her to wear a cute little uniform when she shows up and all this stuff. And you know, this, she mentions Ghislaine and she mentions what happened to her, and yet, you know, she quotes what she remembered back then, that everything was perfectly fine, perfect gentleman. And I mean, even if something illicit happened, of course that's probably what you're going to say, because you don't want to be involved in that either. You don't want to be the next Monica Lewinsky or something like that. So I mean, that's the danger of this stuff. And then the people that are involved with Maxwell and Epstein, I mean, there's foreign intelligence agencies that are family members to one of those mentioned. And is this something to do with bribing government? Because even if you look at the photographs, you think to yourself, well, these were just a normal outing. Why is there these photographs of Bill getting a massage? Who decided that would be important to take that photograph? If this is just a normal thing, his neck's just sore, so a massage therapist helped him with it. Why is there a bunch of snapshots of it? Why is there a bunch of snapshots of him with his arm around her, looking friendly and comfortable? It seems like bribery to me. Who knows? There's not any other photographs other than that, so I mean, I'm saying a lot of speculative stuff right now. I know it's speculative. It sure seems one way, but unfortunately, when it comes to proving something, you need hard evidence, and there isn't really a lot there yet. So we'll just have to see how this goes along too. It's not really going well so far, in my opinion, and I don't really expect it to either. So yeah, link for that down in the description, so you can go look at the pictures and read it and make a judgment for yourself. And I know I said I'd try to make these videos smaller, but I guess we covered 2 news topics roughly in 17, 18 minutes. So, you know, that's what, 8.5 minutes each or something. Not too bad, I guess. I didn't really cover the second one. You're going to have to look at that. But like I say, I want you to go look at that. We'll go look at the pictures yourself. So link to that in the description. I'm also put a link to the description. I've started a BitChute profile or channel as well. So you can sign up for that too, because if this ever gets turfed off of here, then you'll still have BitChute to go to if you enjoy the content that I'm trying to create. This is only episode 2, still a little rough around the gills, but I think it'll get better. It'll get healthier as I get more used to it. So thanks for tuning in, and we're going to do the first reading of propaganda for either Friday or Saturday, and it's something that I might schedule after I film it too, so people can come join in. We got a nice small group right now, so people can have a lot of room to comment with each other, and we'll discuss it. We might even have a follow-up, you know, this small enough to handle that we can do this like book club. So we'll talk about it and we'll discuss it in the following days after I air that one. So I think that'll be cool. That'll be something different that we can do because of the small group. So thanks for listening, everybody. And hopefully you tune in to the first reading of propaganda, because that's way more important than this. This is important, but a lot of people are talking about this. I thought I'd weigh in with what I think. But propaganda is going to be where you get your tools, where you get armed up to be able to see what's going on and be able to read it at any time and any place, whether it's business or marketing, etc. So, all right, that's enough rambling. Talk to you later. Peace.